Hey guys, welcome back to Real Scent Review. Tonight I'm going to be reviewing a personal favorite, Missoni Parfum Eau de Parfum. A lot of times this gets compared to Bleu de Chanel. I'm going to tell you guys what I think about that, and if it doesn't remind me a whole lot of Bleu de Chanel, it might remind me of something else. So if that intrigues you, stick around, check out this video. Well, hey guys, it's been a minute, hasn't it? Yeah, I've just been moving into the new place here. It's been a little bit delayed, so time for another video. At this point, everybody's familiar with Bleu de Chanel, be it the Parfum, the Eau de Parfum, this one, or the Eau de Toilette. It is just super well known in the fragrance community, even outside the fragrance community. I bet you, if you've been outside in the past 10 years, you will have smelled this on at least one or two people out there. So being such a popular fragrance and also an expensive fragrance, there's bound to be some clones out there or some fragrances that have been created to try to sort of mimic this one because of its popularity and its relatively high price. Missoni Parfum is one of the more well-known alternatives to Bleu de Chanel, but I might not necessarily agree with that. So anyway, let's get started with the review here. You can see the box, it's black, and it has this stripe around the middle. And as you can see, the name of the cologne is Missoni Parfum pour Homme, but the concentration is Eau de Parfum. So it's totally misleading. I think it's just a marketing gimmick, honestly, calling the fragrance itself Parfum when the concentration is really an Eau de Parfum. Anyway, we'll let that one slide for now because it does actually smell very good. On the bottom, we have all our typical information here. Gonna open the box now. First flap. It's a double flap box here. Very nice, well protected. Solid, heavy bottle here. This is the 100 milliliter bottle. Glass, Missoni on the front here. On the bottom, we have our batch code and all the usual information. The cap here looks very nice. As you can see, it has a sort of textured pattern, a raised pattern all the way around. And the best part of all, it's magnetic. All right, let's go ahead and get a couple of sprays out of the way. My favorite part. Excellent. And you know, I'm not trying to make this a flat out comparison video, but I'm also gonna give a spray of Bleu de Chanel on this hand here. Right off the top, I noticed some differences. So I'm gonna start with the Missoni. The official notes of Missoni Parfum Eau de Parfum are the following. In the top, grapefruit, lemon, and lavender. In the mid, we get ginger, apple, and jasmine. And in the dry down, we're given. Okay, I definitely detect some differences compared to the official note breakdown. So what I actually get is the following. In the top, I get some grapefruit, a lot of lavender. In the mid, I get a little bit of oak and even more lavender. In the dry down, sure enough, more lavender with some geranium and some musk. Now opening up here, the Missoni Parfum has just a touch of grapefruit. Effervescent, rindy, juicy, citric, kind of bitter grapefruit that's almost ubiquitous in almost every male designer hot weather fragrance. Grapefruit tends to appear. The amounts and the concentrations of it will differ between fragrances, but most of the time you're gonna find grapefruit in a lot of fragrances that are geared toward hot weather. You know, the grapefruit's definitely not the main player here. It's quickly overtaken by some lavender. Now it's a fresh, floral, kind of sweet lavender, and in the mid, that lavender is met with some oak, so it's a fresh wood, but it also has an earthy tinge to it. Fresh, earthy wood, oak, very nice smelling scent here. Combined with the lavender, it kind of gives this an old school barbershop smell. And in the dry down, that barbershop smell becomes even more apparent because the lavender is mixed with geranium in the bottom. I definitely get some prominent geranium in the bottom. Gives it a slight floral, minty note. So I think maybe in the very top, these two might smell similar for maybe the first 2 or 3 minutes. The Missoni Parfum goes in a totally different direction. Missoni Parfum is definitely an aromatic fougere to my nose with a touch of wood. And the Bleu de Chanel, definitely a blue, maybe ever so slightly aquatic smelling fragrances, but more into the blue territory. I don't necessarily get that ambroxan sea salty note, but other than that, you know, we get the sharp, effervescent, crispy citruses, we get the pink pepper, some amberwood in the bottom gives it a little bit of a sweetness, and there's definitely some musk to this one. So like I said, they share the grapefruit in the very top, although the Bleu de Chanel might even Might even be a little bit more of like a lemony bergamot, but point is, it's very similar to a grapefruit note. It's very effervescent, citric, bitter, rindy, you know? So upon initial application, they might smell kind of similar, but they totally diverge from one another after those first few minutes. The Missoni Parfum definitely leans more old school to my nose. Absolutely. This is definitely the more mature of the two. Bleu de Chanel keeps things a little bit more youthful, lively, more uplifting, citric. This is gonna appeal to the younger guys out there. The Missoni Parfum, I don't think it will. So all in all, do I think they're similar? Not really, not really. I think a lot of people might be fooled upon initial opening. They might think that the Missoni, you know, because of those citruses in the top, they might think, oh, this is gonna go down the same road as Bleu de Chanel, but it doesn't. Now I gotta say, this Missoni Parfum is a very good quality fragrance. I like it. I personally think it's even a little bit more interesting than Bleu de Chanel, but some other people might have different opinions. I think younger guys are gonna wanna stay clear of this one. It is barbershoppy. It could remind some people of aftershave or, you know, shaving cream. Classic barbershop aromatic fougere here. Although there is a little bit of a modern twist on it. There's some added woods, and like I said, that citrus in the top keeps it from going completely 1980s in my opinion. But you know, it is definitely for the mature audience, I'll say that. And it's extremely inexpensive too. You can have this one, 100 milliliter bottle for $50 US on FragranceNet. Extremely good buy. So you know what, even though this doesn't really remind me of Bleu de Chanel that much, it does remind me of another Chanel, which is Platinum Egoist. I will admit, I don't own a bottle of that, but someone very close to me does, and whenever I visit this person, I always make sure to go smell the cap and maybe even steal a couple of sprays. So I'm very familiar with the smell of Platinum Egoist. There are differences. Platinum Egoist is more herbal. There might be some more floral tinges to that one. That one might be a little bit more soapy. But all in all, this has a very similar vibe to Platinum Egoist by Chanel. And it's also reminiscent to me of Rive Gauche by Yves Saint Laurent. So honestly, even though this gets touted as a really popular, good alternative to Bleu de Chanel, I don't share that opinion. Honestly, I don't find it very similar to Bleu de Chanel at all, except like I said in the initial opening stages. I find this much more similar to Platinum Egoist, also by Chanel, and less so to Rive Gauche by Yves Saint Laurent. But you know, this, at the end of the day, it's a barbershop fragrance. It's an aromatic fougere, but it does have, like I said, a couple of modern twists that's gonna keep it from going, you know, completely 1980s. It definitely is very formal compared to Bleu de Chanel. Bleu de Chanel is one I would wear out to a party or to the beach during the summer, for example. This is something I'd wear to an office meeting or a fancy dinner, for example. This one dresses up more than it dresses down, if you ask me. I personally think you can wear this in all seasons, the hottest of the hottest summer days, and also the coldest of the coldest winter days. This is just an all-around great fragrance, super versatile. Like I said, if you have a mature taste, this is gonna be super versatile for you. Not offensive at all, though. Very clean, very masculine, but it's polite. It's classy. This isn't gonna turn anybody off, although, like I said, it might not appeal to younger guys. Performance on this one, not beast mode. In fact, the performance is just above average, I would say. I'd probably get, you know, a little bit more than an elbow's length projection for the first hour, and by the end of the second hour, it's getting close to a skin scent. However, the longevity, pretty good on my skin. I get 7, maybe almost 8 hours on this. You know what, the reason I like this one so much is because of the actual smell and the complexity. For a relatively inexpensive fragrance, great quality. This is a total steal for the price, and it smells definitely more expensive than it is. It's complex, it has levels to it. It's really good. Honestly, I find it more interesting than Bleu de Chanel. So this one, guys, Missoni Parfum Eau de Parfum. I think it's a really good buy. This is always gonna have a spot in my collection. I recommend you guys pick this one up if you're looking for something a little bit classy and mature. Maybe if you want to be reminded of those 1980s aromatic fougères. This is definitely gonna be one for you. That's not gonna hurt the wallet. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed my review of Missoni Parfum Eau de Parfum. Until next time, keep it real.